Now, Konstantina are going to tell us about the social contextualisation.
Good morning. The role of Western Greece region InCompass project was to identify the best practices as far as social contextualization is concerned. Social contextualization includes mediation activities that connect incubatees both to each other and to partners in the outside world. The main aims of this connection are stimulation of informal learning by exchanging new knowledge, information, best practices and networking activities that may result in forms of co-creation. And this entails to stimulating networking between incubatees within the incubator and between incubatees and potential partners or associates outside the incubator. And I'm going to present the best practices that we identified in each study visit. The first study visit was in Rotterdam, and in fact in Creative Factory. Within Incubator, the best practices were the open and communal spaces and a deliberate mix of incubatees. At neighborhood level, provide leaderships with incubatees for neighborhood young people, intermediation for incubatees to find housing in the neighborhood, grant free working spaces to neighborhood startups, and cooperate with neighborhood business, such as catering from neighborhood kitchen. In the second incubator, within Incubator, open or transparent working spaces and quarterly net working lunches, and at neighborhood level, dog cafe open days and again networking lunches. In Milan, and in fact in Hub Milano, the best practices that we saw within Incubator was the fact that they organized events and workshops, hosted organized meetings. They managed to have flexible and personalized design of common spaces, and they have a common kitchen, which is a social function of eating and cooking together. At neighborhood level, they organize events with the local community. In the second incubator, the use of co-working spaces and especially shared use with mature companies and use of social networks. In the third incubator, the practice of stimulating incubatees in order to organize own events and invite external firms, foster informal cooperation, and at neighborhood level, accommodate local public services, such as employment info points in public office, and organize events with neighborhood. In Malmo and in Media Evolution City, open structure of building that encourage unplanned networking, common areas such as kitchen and breakout areas, restaurant open to the general public, regular networking events such as Friday evening, and a large annual networking event such as the conference. In Ming applies several informal ways to encourage personal and social interaction among incubatees. Common areas such as a restaurant and open workspaces, online coffee machine that forces incubatees to come together, restaurant for tenants but also clients, monthly breakfast meetings, and hosting events from external organizations. And in the own innovation, common areas such as restaurant and open workspaces, and they have backstage room in order to discuss preliminary business ideas. In Portugal and in fact in LX Factory, we saw common spaces that enhance informal interaction, community building by use of social media, and they organize open days. In Tagus Park, they have a common space for informal interaction, optimizing a mix of firms in different stages of incubation model, retain graduates with Tagus Park. They build student dorms in Tagus Park, and they organize network events in Incubatura for firms in Tagus Park. In Greece, in Patras, in fact, in Coralia, they organize opening days for external firms, potential startups and local community. They have common spaces for informal interaction, display of hosted companies' products. They have a strong connection to regional economy by focus on clusters rather than individual firms. And they focus on retaining talent in the region. In Patra Science Park, there is a special relationship with university that generates synergy, and they have common spaces for informal interaction. In Patra's Carnival Lab, the large goodwill and support the participation by local community may mitigate financial constraints and financial stimulus for local economy by taxes, tourism, which may potentially flow back to Carnival Lab. In Aviles, the best practice that we identified in Factoria Cultura was the common spaces for informal interaction, networking events, and establish relationships with local codex through events and courses. And the School for Female Entrepreneurs, meetings and workshops with experts stimulate networks, and they have presentation exhibitions that are freely accessible for locals. And in the third incubator, we saw again common spaces for informal interaction, online platforms, and programs to link businesses and education. In Medway, in Go Forward, we saw the interaction with the local community through service and events, and co-working community. And in Captain Collective, we saw a strong involvement in neighborhood improvement, pop-up shops, and sharing responsibilities with the local authorities. In Copyright Arts, we saw open studios, Coffee Lotto, and capitalize on contribution to local community, and in Trinity, combination of workplaces and event spaces. In SIBA, proximity to encourage collaboration and networking events, and accelerate monthly networking lunch and digital incubation. And last, in the Center of Creative Collaboration, there was a strong emphasis on cooperation between incubators and they organize informal networking events. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.